When I was in school, I struggled a lot socially. Sure, I had a couple close friends and a bunch of acquaintances that I considered to be friends, but it was like all the guys I wished to be friends with and girls I wished to be friends with kept me at arm's length, which was pretty damaging for me considering socialization is literally a fundamental human need. I felt outcasted. I felt different. And the more I noticed this invisible barrier, the more I grew increasingly frustrated. I was like, what the is wrong with me? Am I like super ugly or something? And I tried the common advice of just fake it till you make it, bro. Just be confident, which of course didn't work. I mean, people can subconsciously pick up on when you're faking it. And when you have a low self-image, eventually it's going to seep through the cracks no matter how much you try to hide it. And then I graduated and suddenly all those friends I thought I had never reached out to me again. But this issue runs much deeper than that because not being a highly likable person almost guarantees a difficult life because you're going to remain closed off from romantic partners because you can't get your foot in the door, life-changing opportunities because being likable is basically the key to getting ahead in every career on the planet, forming a brotherhood of male friends that pretty much every guy dreams of. That's not even mentioning the intense cognitive and emotional decline that is caused by loneliness. Yet if I would have just known these 7 habits, not only would I have made a couple more friends, but I could have dominated the social hierarchy of my high school, going on to effortlessly attract girls and friends and overall just living a more confident and authentic life. And when you learn and combine these 7 habits, you're going to become an absolute social weapon who can easily win over whoever you please. So I used to have a friend that we will call Steve. Steve talked shit about people, he was flaky, he would ignore your text messages. Honestly, he just sucked as a friend most of the time. Yet when Steve was around me, it was literally impossible not to like him. I could talk to him for hours and it was extremely enjoyable. How is this? Because every time I was with Steve, he would bombard me with questions about my life. Things like YouTube, business, our social circle, any problems I was currently facing. You see, Steve was a master of habit 1. Make them interesting. Next time you're talking to someone you want to win over, treat their life as if it is the most interesting story you have ever heard of. This alone will get you so far in conversation because people love talking about themselves, but that means you love talking about yourself, so you need to build the discipline of not oversharing or steering the conversation back to yourself. We all know someone who does that, and we hate him for it. But not only was Steve getting me to talk about my life, but he would always find a way to compliment me. Kenny, your editing is so much better than everyone else's. You should get paid more for your job. Your YouTube content is so valuable, which of course was music to my ears. And these compliments that were relevant to the conversation addicted me to talking with him because I was getting these little dopamine hits throughout our interaction. Plus, when you compliment someone, they are going to subconsciously attribute that very compliment back to you. For example, if you praise someone for how intelligent they are, they will in turn subconsciously view you as a smart guy. So combine habit 1 with habit 2. Sprinkle them with praise. And a bonus tip for this is compliment other people besides the person you're interacting with. Every time I've gotten just a good feeling about someone, I've noticed it's because their willingness to compliment and praise other people behind their backs. This also means you should avoid the shit talk because all it takes is one criticism that the other person doesn't agree with to completely ruin how they view you. So have you ever noticed how guys tend to become friends with each other much quicker and easier compared to women? Girls tend to instantly find something to dislike about each other while guys will be like, so, you want a beer? Nah, I'm good, man. I don't really drink. Gotcha. That's good. Healthy. You watch football? Not really, to be honest. I never got into it. Okay. You like boobs? Oh yeah, man, I love boobs. Oh yeah, hell boobs, yeah, man, that's dope. They're awesome. Yeah, they're great, you like man. Butt cheeks? Oh, butt cheeks are awesome, butt cheeks man. Men will literally work to find common ground with each other so that they can bond. And this plays on the affinity bias, which is the tendency to connect with someone that shares similar interests, experiences, and backgrounds. They've done studies that reveal that people who share similar experiences tend to bond quicker. I mean, think about it. In school, how many kids were you friends with just because y'all shared a class together? So the third habit is find common ground and exploit it. But here's the thing, the words we speak only make up about 7% of communication. The rest is all vocal and nonverbal. So if we truly want to become irresistibly likable and just dominate socially, we need to go deeper. Have you ever been speaking to someone and it just feels like they're not fully there? Sure, they may be saying things like, yeah, oh, that's crazy. But you can't help but feel like they're only giving you 10% of their attention, which absolutely kills the interaction and honestly kind of offends you. And have you ever been speaking to someone and it feels like you just can't get out of your head? You feel nervous, you're overthinking every word you say and overanalyzing how they're responding, which ultimately is just gonna kill the vibe and make you come off as socially anxious or insecure. Well, both of these scenarios are actually due to the same root cause: a lack of presence. You aren't stressing about the future or dwelling in the past. You have this flow state that just makes you effortlessly say words without thinking about it, which comes off as more authentic. And this elevated focus on the person you're speaking to makes them feel infinitely more valued, which will make them like you more. In a world where everyone is distracted all the time, the ability to be present will make you stand out compared to anyone else they've interacted with. Now, the thing about presence is that it's actually a skill that needs to be trained, and the best way, hands down, to train it is by meditating for mindfulness. I used to do this before hanging out with new friends or going on podcasts, and it would absolutely destroy my social anxiety and explode my presence in the moment. So if that sounds good to you, in the description I have a free 5-day guided meditation series you can get after this video. Now, I'm gonna warn you, this next habit can quickly become borderline manipulative, because once you get good at it, it is dangerously powerful. So as we know, while people may say one thing, they could feel or mean something completely different, and more often than not, they are, and they're just trying to hide it. But what if there was a way to basically read their minds and feel how they feel without asking a single question? Look at the following pictures of Barack Obama and see if you can notice a pattern between them. Now, you probably noticed that in every image, Obama is copying the other person's body language. Now, while this may seem coincidental, when it comes to the most persuasive, manipulative, and calculated presidents we've ever had, nothing is coincidence. So, why is he doing this? A study was done where they took 80 men and women and assigned them a partner. What they didn't know is that their partner was secretly working with the researchers and was instructed to either mimic or avoid mimicking the partner's body language. After these brief interactions, the researchers would ask the subjects if they liked or disliked the partner. What they found was, to no surprise, those who mimicked their partners were way more liked than those who did not. So right off the bat, we know if you have only a brief window to impress someone, just mirror them. But that is not what makes mirroring so powerful. You see, our unconscious body language tends to reveal or expose how we actually feel inside. For example, someone feeling very comfortable and confident may have this open, laid-back posture, versus someone feeling insecure or discomforted, they will kind of close up. But what isn't often discussed is that this brain and body connection goes both ways. So yes, the mind can influence the body, but the body can influence the mind. So when you're mirroring someone, your brain is going to set off little emotional signals reflecting the emotion conveyed by the body language you're doing, which is the same thing they're doing, which means you're gonna get this data of how they actually feel regardless of what they're saying to you. And then you can take that information to alter the way you say things or the way you navigate the conversation moving forward. Now listen, with great power comes great responsibility, so I do not condone you using mirroring to manipulate people. Be nice. But did you know that it only takes 1/10 of a second for someone to form a judgment about you? Watch these two clips and notice how different they feel. Hi, how can I help you? I love your shoes, by the way. Hi, how can I help you? I love your shoes, by the way. Now, despite me saying the exact same things to you, you probably felt more inclined to like me in the first clip. And that's because before a single word came out of my mouth, I had this relaxed, happy look on my face compared to the other clip where I looked annoyed, frustrated, aggressive. So now that you know everyone's forming judgments about you before you even say a word, you need to develop the habit of pre-framing. This means anytime you're in public, you need to be consciously avoiding negative facial expressions and insecure body language, even if you don't notice anyone looking at you, because all it takes is one flick of the eyes for them to develop a judgment. But let's say you've used all these habits and you're in a conversation and it's going well. What is the right hook that you could throw to leave a lasting imprint on them? Well, a psychology professor at San Francisco University revealed that emotional openness resulted in a potent bonding between people. And then a study at Illinois State showed that expressing vulnerability causes people to like you more. And I know that hearing that is causing our egos to freak out like, what? Huh? No, I don't want to be beta, bro. But if you are selectively vulnerable, this is going to shock the other person with how bold and brave you are to reveal such a thing, especially because they know that 99% of people would never do that. And what this does is creates a shared emotional experience that is key to creating a long-term relationship. just please be sure not to say anything that could be used against you. But while the following habits will certainly make you socially magnetic, if you want to attract a woman sexually and romantically, then you need to click this video on the right where I reveal the not so common traits that will make a girl psychologically addicted to you. And if you don't care about that, go ahead and click the video on the left where I reveal how to completely reinvent yourself and thus restart your life in only 3 to 9 days.